Now it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yust, and I'm introducing you to Shea Marsh, King Little Hawk of the Gossamer Court, and and it's my attempt to humanize him and hopefully let people see what I see. Hi.
Hello.
Let's start. Let's start at the beginning. You were 10 months old, and something happened to you that changed your life before it began. And what was that?
Well, I ended up getting in a car crash, a really bad one where I was pretty much ejected from the car seat and the vehicle and got T-boned by an 89 LeSabre and got traumatic brain injury from it.
Now, a lot of parents would have given up at that point. Um, and
I'm glad
just
mine didn't.
no, it's obvious they didn't. Let's talk about some of your accomplishments when you were growing up. I understand that you like skateboarding.
Yeah. Uh, Skateboarding's the first thing I'd say I've ever had a real passion about. Uh, it's definitely one of the longest sports I've done. And by the end of it, I still kind of, be one of the normal kids and do a kickflip. But I had kind of a Rodney Mullen sort of old school version. But I still skate when I can.
Yeah, there's that other form of boarding, the one that I have told you to do when you're
I
70.
don't care what he says about it. I'm still gonna mountain board.
Fine.
That's good. That's good transportation. What can I say?
You also did other things. You started wrestling, and what were your accomplishments in that?
Well, I was 3-year letterman. Was very close to becoming a 4-year letterman, and I would have been able to do it, but I wasn't very good with computers, I guess. But that summer, I ended up going to Ken Cherito's gold medal wrestling camp, and I pinned him at his own wrestling camp in front of 500 people.
Now, the problem with computers was that, because you weren't passing a course and
Computer lit really sucked, and the teacher took the traumatic brain injury and used it against me. I
um,
tried. I turned in the assignments multiple times, but it got ignored. So,
your grandfather is the president of the West Virginia Bow Hunters Association, and I understand that you did archery from an early age. You want to talk about that?
very early, I don't even remember how old I was when I was starting out with it, but I know by 7th grade I was already had 2 shelves full of trophies, and that was just the start.
In the process of that, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, you went to an institute school when you were 18, where they taught you some basic things that helped you because of the brain injury.
Yeah,
And you were telling me, and this is based on something that your grandfather taught you. You were asked what you feared most, and you were around people that were challenged as you were.
yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, during the one of the days we were forced to face our main fears if it was able to be faced, but mine were being blind or deaf, and so we did that for a day. We actually did the whole wrapping your eyes so tight there was no light, no black, no white, no color or anything. And we actually used one of those walking sticks, and we were blind for a day. For those who actually said that,
So tell me about teaching the blind. What did you teach them?
me and Grandpa have actually taught the blind how to shoot archery, and it's a really unique experience. But I don't know if it's echolocation, but there's some sort of mechanism that helps them aim if they know how far away it is and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. It's difficult to explain. It's a really neat experience to go through, though.
Do they uh, do they hit the target?
Yeah, those that can actually lock down are pretty amazing.
I went through something of that, years ago when my eyesight, well, when I was diagnosed with RP, and I would go blindfold, and walk through the woods and sense the leaves and stuff, and it is an amazing experience. There's no question about it. Why was it so important for you to graduate from high school?
Nobody said I could. Of course I had to.
Yeah,
But
I've seen the picture of you in your cap and gown, and it's pretty apparent how proud you were. You know,
yeah, I was gone a little bit. But nobody thought I would make it. My middle school teachers said I wanted to have a chance. My high school teachers laughed at it, most of them. But it was just worth it. It's not that bad. I mean, I went to school for, what, 9, 10 years before I hit high school. Why waste it?
well, you've been labeled as a hippie in West Virginia. Do you identify as a hippie?
Eh, in ways, yes, in ways, no. I just like to keep the peace and calm. But I'm not one that will just turn around and say, nothing happened. Uh, I am one that will stand up for my friends. Like,
That's definitely
I'm
apparent.
more of a peaceful warrior than a hippie, but hippie's a good label.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've noticed some of your neighbors that are all kin, cousins, sisters, wives, husbands, etc. They're all kind of related. I've seen a couple of them that were two-headed walking around at the bottom of the mountain you live
This is West by God, Virginia.
on.
No.
um, you belong to a church group. Would you like to talk about that?
Awesome people. Huntington Unitarian Church. We accept everybody. We're interested in learning.
But you're a
And
pagan in a church.
so,
Pagans need church too, apparently.
everybody
Um,
has their own form of church.
yeah. Well, they're a community that obviously loves you, and they have been your support system. Um, you know, you you have you have demonstrated that. I mean, there are a lot of pagans that just get lazy, but you always seem to stay on top of the magic. Speaking of the magic, a lot of people have asked me because they see pictures of you with different animals. How do you feel about animals?
Extremely connected. Um, I've always been connected to different kinds of animals. When I was 5, I actually walked up to a baby fawn and started petting it, and my parents were floored because it was right outside the house, and its mother was looking kind of pissed actually. But I got out of that all right. First night hunting, I had or first morning waking up for hunting when I fell asleep in the tree stand 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get out there early. I woke up to a squirrel on my shoulder. Uh, I've saved multiple different kinds of birds. Recently, a rabbit. Uh, I'm just connected to wildlife, man.
So, in that connection, you did go hunting with your grandfather, and there was only one animal with all the knowledge that you have with bow, there's only one animal that you have killed.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that and why you stopped?
Well, I mean, I've went hunting for about 4 years, and the first thing I ever killed was a fawn that was probably a little over knee height. And it seemed a lot bigger, apparently, but, I don't know. I just prefer filming and photographing them. They're much more interesting out in nature, unless I'm actually hunting for food. Hunting's no big deal.
As as these segments go, and we're going to be continuing with them, we're going to talk about fire art, and we're going to talk about the festivals, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about the traveling that you've done.
Yeah.
Um, but for now, we're just going to leave off with this one. And I thank you for agreeing to participate in this because I always have people from the world outside of our world as true friends that ask me questions about you. So we'll get on to the next. And thank you very much.
All right. Y'all have a great night.